Join me as I dive deep into the dark side of luxury living and try to uncover the truths they don't want you to see. Luxury living, it's the ultimate goal for many of us, right? We're constantly being fed this idealistic image of what it means to be wealthy and successful, with fancy cars, opulent mansions, and exotic getaways. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on behind those perfectly curated Instagram posts? When we think of luxury living, we often imagine a life of ease and comfort, but the reality is that maintaining a lavish lifestyle is a full-time job. The pressure to keep up appearances, to constantly one-up your friends and acquaintances, can be overwhelming. And let's not forget the financial strain of affording all those designer labels and luxury cars. We're led to believe that the wealthy are somehow immune to the stresses of everyday life, but the truth is that they're just as vulnerable to anxiety and depression as the rest of us. And with the constant scrutiny of social media, it can be hard to keep up the facade of perfection. In fact, many people who have achieved wealth and success will tell you that it's not all it's cracked up to be. The pressure to constantly perform, to constantly produce, can be suffocating. And the lack of genuine connections, the superficial relationships that are based on status rather than substance, can be a heavy price to pay. The reality of luxury living is that it's not just about having more, it's about being seen to have more. It's about projecting an image of success, of status, of power. But what's the cost of that image, and is it really worth it in the end? Take, for example, the story of a wealthy entrepreneur who seemingly had it all: the mansion, the yacht, the private jet. But behind closed doors, they were living a life of crippling debt, of anxiety and depression, of loneliness and disconnection. They had achieved the ultimate symbol of success, but at what cost? Their story is a powerful reminder that luxury living is not always what it appears to be. Behind the glamour and the glitz, there are often hidden costs, hidden sacrifices that we don't often hear about. The constant pressure to perform, to produce, to project an image of perfection can be a heavy burden to bear. And yet, despite all these challenges, despite all these hidden costs, we're still drawn to the allure of luxury living. We're still seduced by the promise of ease and comfort, of status and power, but perhaps it's time for us to take a step back, to re-examine what we really want from life, to question whether the price of luxury is really worth paying. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever had any experiences with luxury living that didn't quite live up to the hype? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about the realities of wealth and success, be sure to check out my next video on the channel.